Hi, everybody. Welcome to Conversations with Busy. I hope you enjoyed today's story. And if you do, please subscribe. Here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Conversations with Busy. First episode of 2025.
How about that?
And it's episode 511.
It's the first episode I've been on of Conversations with Busy. I've never been on this show before.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that amazing?
Everybody, that's so exciting. Isn't it exciting?
I'm very excited.
And we today is going to be about changing our mindset. So you might have tuned in if you're watching us on YouTube or on the website or whatever, and you're watching us and you tune into me. I'm wearing like an aloe little sweat outfit, and you might think, "Oh, is she using?"
She's going to go to the gym.
She's going to the gym. I'm going to be one of those people. I mean, I can't tell you how many years, literally, I have said, okay, it is my year. I'm joining the gym. I'm going to go every day. I'm going to go in. I'm going to take a tour. I'm going to pay that horrible fee to do 1 year membership to a health club, athletic club, and gone maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 times.
Well, I used to recall when I used to go to the gym that it would be very crowded in January, but it had like a 2-week half-life. So it was like after 2 weeks, half the new people would be gone. 2 weeks after that, half of what was left would be gone. And by March, there'd be like 2 new people left out of the whole group that came, and that was it.
Right. So here we are. We have not joined a gym yet, you guys. We are not joining a gym for 2025.
We're quitters, not joiners. Just kidding.
But we're decluttering. We're actually getting less things that we're going to be signed up for, I think, this year. Because this year in this podcast is going to be about, emotional and mental decluttering.
Oh my gosh. But not physical. No physical decluttering.
Too physical decluttering. Remove my arm, please. It's decluttering my life.
I was talking about my surroundings, my environment.
Yeah, well, we're not. Well, we have decluttered a little bit since Christmas yesterday.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes.
We did declutter. It was very insane in this house.
3 truckloads of Christmas went to the storage unit yesterday.
Yeah, it was like to the and it's so funny because I had friends over Christmas and they had never been over to our house before, and I said, "Come over," and they were like, "Okay," so they came over, and I gave them a tour of my house, and they're like, "Gosh, you have a lot of clutter," and I'm like, "You think?" I don't know where to put anything. I like to say I have a mouse house, but I don't want to make my hubby feel bad because it's not a mouse house. It's perfect for the 2 of us. It's bigger than a lot of people live in for 2 people, but it's like I have too much stuff. So it is decluttering.
I don't know if you're aware of this. There's somebody else is in the podcast with us.
Oh, you guys, by the way, again, if you're not watching this and you're just listening to us in the car or on your walk or on your jog or whatever you're doing and you're listening to us, Lily, our little cavapoo, is in between us right now, like totally lounged behind us. She thinks she's a dog, but she thinks she's a cat. But enough about this. So this year is about embracing a lighter, freer version of ourselves this year. I was talking to a friend yesterday, actually, and this person was telling me how somebody had said to them, "Oh, well, are you just going to be retired now? Or are you going to be working? What are you going to do?" And because it's 2025. And she was like so excited for this year, and people assumed she wasn't going to work. And she's like, "I am like so excited to work. What are you talking about? I want to volunteer. I'm getting back into doing things. I'm so excited." And I said, we got to lighten up. We got to let go of what other people think. And we have to do what we think and know in our hearts to be right. But for so long, I think clutter comes from the noise that's all around us.
I can see that. Yeah. It just jams up your mind.
But I don't feel like it happens to you as much as it happens to me.
Well, I think you're probably right.
And do you think that's a men are from Mars and women's from Venus thing? Or do you think it's just you and me? We're just totally, we're special and I don't think that's it. I think women that overthink things way more than men do.
I think it's a lot of male versus female. I think especially as in my opinion, just from merely from observing, as men get older, they seem to care less and less. Just look at how they dress when they get old.
There's some men that dress nicely.
Yeah, but I'm talking about straight men.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, there are men that dress nicely.
There are a few, but generally, men just don't. They just get older. They just don't care anymore. It's like, it's okay. I don't care. I'm gonna do me, and if you don't like it, it doesn't matter. I don't need any more friends. I mean, that's just kind of the attitude.
Do men even really need friends?
Yeah, men all have friends. We all have friends. We like to have our little groups and do our little thing, but they're usually. I feel like a lot of men's friends are more specific to activities than anything else. So you could have church friends, golf friends,
Work friends.
right? Except all those different places, and that's good. And you look forward to seeing them, and it's it's always nice. And then you move on to the next group.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I get that. And I can see that. I have friends in all different. My problem is that I have friends from this group and this group and from there and from there, and then I want to mix them all together, and they're all so different, and it doesn't always mix together. And then I want everybody to get along, and then everybody's from different places, and so it's not always the same. So
I gotcha.
it's cluttering. See, you guys, it's all about clutter. So I want to ask you my first question to you today.
Mm-hmm.
Is what does letting go of what no longer serves you mean to you personally?
What does letting go of what no longer serves me? Well, that seems like a pretty simple answer. I mean, if it doesn't serve me anymore, then let it go. And I have gotten much better at that. But I feel like, the reason why it's hard to let those things go, this is my feeling anyway, is that most humans seem to be, and certainly I've lived my life, a long part of my life like that, very much attached to an outcome uh, of what they think is supposed to happen or what they want to have happen. And when that's not happening, it becomes very difficult to let go of that. In my opinion, that's the thing that's so hard to let go of, is the outcome. So, then you just are stuck in a pattern of, trying to make something happen that's just not going to happen in your life. Like to keep it very simplistic, if I decided this afternoon, honey, guess what? I've thought long and hard about it, and I'm going to set the world pole vaulting record. Okay. It's just not going to happen. I mean, that's the truth. But, if I get it in my head that that's what I'm going to do, I will keep trying and trying and trying, and I'll end up with my arm in a cast and my leg in a cast and everything else. But I was like, I can't let go of it. I'm going to do this. I just know I'm going to do it. I'm just not doing whatever it is. I'm not doing it right.
I want to talk more specifically. So, if it comes to a relationship, so let's say you want an outcome in a relationship, and you have a relationship with somebody in your life, and you keep trying to make something happen out of that relationship. Has that ever happened to you with a personal relationship?
Absolutely.
And how did you overcome it? So, I want to hear about like a personal story, and you don't have to get too deep into details if you don't want to. You can. We would love to hear deets because we love the dish.
Okay, well, I will. This was the story of my life for a long time. So when I grew up in a house that wasn't always the happiest place in the world, and but there was this show on TV called The Waltons, and it didn't matter.
John Boy.
Exactly. It didn't matter what went on, and they'd have their fights and they have all this stuff. But then by the end of the show, it would close the same. Everybody would say good night to each other, and they all went together. They all went to sleep loving each other. And I don't even think I knew it for a long time, but I decided I was going to recreate. This is what I was going to have in my life. This house full of people that all loved each other, and I was going to make it happen. And and so I married a woman who had other kids, and I was like, this is great. We're going to bring it all together, and we're going to make.
By the way, guys, this isn't me he's talking about.
No. And I'm gonna make this happen, and everybody's gonna get along. And I tried and tried and tried. Well, that nobody else wanted any part of my plan. You know, they didn't. But this was my outcome that I was so attached to, and that's why I say it's so outcomes are so important in the letting go process, is recognizing it. So, and I couldn't let go of that outcome, man. I really tried hard, and finally, I this woman who was a therapist said, you need to, John, you need to let go of your childish dreams. And I'm like, childish dreams? What are you talking about? Childish dreams? I was so insulted. And she said, well, what is your dream? And I told her, and she said, when did you come up with this? I said, I don't know, when I was like 12. And she goes, what more do I need to tell you? It's time to let go of the childish dream. So so that's my specific thing. And I can tell you that drove me crazy, and it drove everybody else in the house crazy for me trying to do that.
Why do you think that? So the reason you wanted to have your family look a certain way is because you wanted the Waltons, you wanted this thing you saw on TV that of course wasn't real, it was acting, right?
Yes.
And so do you ever recognize somebody else that has these problems, that something's holding them back in their life, that they're holding on to something that you just want to say, let go, do not try to control it? Do you see that?
Sure, I see it all the time. I see it in my own house with my own spouse that I have right now.
You see it with me. So give us an example of that.
Well, I think it's the same thing. I think that you've had in your life, you had certain expectations and of certain of the way you wanted
For sure.
relationships to turn out with your family. And guess what? The rest of the family, just like mine, was not along on your ride. They just weren't. But you are not willing to let it go. You're not willing to let it go. And what happened? You drove yourself crazy. You drove everybody else crazy. And what it does, really, sadly, when we as humans act like that, is it drives everyone from us. It becomes very divisive. And why is that? Well, out of the 12-step program, it's because we're playing God.
We're the producer.
Oh my
we're
gosh.
the producer of chaos.
So true. I mean, they caught the actor on the stage, and I said it should be the director, not the actor. I don't want to be the actor. I want to be the director, and the actors need to do what I tell them to do.
It's so true. So we're gonna get really. So it was Christmas. We just had Christmas, and it was my third Christmas without my oldest son being here. And of course, that took me to a pity party in the beginning. That happened in November and December.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that happened. I was very, very like, oh my gosh, he's not here. I don't want to be here. I was a terrible mother. Poor me. And then my other two kids came, and it was actually fun in the beginning. We had fun. We laughed on Christmas morning. We laughed so hard. We wore crazy outfits and I had crazy glasses on, and we had crazy shirts on. When you said,
yeah, we had like crazy pajamas is what we had. And we're like, let's go to the airport and pick them up in our crazy pajamas.
And we did.
Mm-hmm.
We did. And that was totally let go. That was totally let go. We played pickleball, and I felt like, I don't know if you guys have ever felt like this, like you get the outfit on, and you get everybody in the car, and everybody looks really cute, and we're going to have it planned, and it's going to go like this. We're going to have this person go, and then this person go.
Really? I didn't know we were doing that.
But we didn't do that. No. We just had fun. We went with it. We rolled with it.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have, it was like the first time I didn't roll with it. What are your thoughts on all of this? Like and then I'm going to go on. I'm going to finish, and then we're going to have your recollection of what happened. So then it wasn't they weren't here long. My daughter was here the longest. And so we had fun. We had fun. I had fun until the end. And at the end, everybody was leaving, which of course leaves me in a sense of like, I was a mom for so long and now I'm not, and it feels terrible, and everybody left and everybody went to do their own life. And the reality is nobody lives near me. And I have to preface this with my choice. I told my kids when I was raising them, because I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, in the middle of the country. And I went to Philadelphia all the time because my mother was from Philadelphia. And then I went to college in Washington, D.C. So I made a ton of friends in Washington, D.C. And then I went out to Colorado. And then it was like, all right, well, you have to come to Philadelphia because my mom was living there and I didn't really have a job and I wasn't making any money. And she's like, I'm not paying for you to run around the country anymore. So you have to come here. And so I went there. And then when it was, I always wanted to move to Florida. It had always been something I'd wanted to do. I love the sun. I love the ocean. I love warm weather. I love all of the above. So we came here 6 years ago. He thought we were only coming for 6 weeks, but here we are 6 years later. Mm-hmm. And when that happens, like the family home that my kids were raised in, we still have it, but we rent it out. So we aren't living there. And so they never go home to see their friends from high school. And there's no home base there. And I chose to move to Florida. And some people in my family hate Florida. My daughter hates Florida. And so everybody has these emotions because they come home and it's not like they're going home to Philadelphia and they're seeing all their friends. And I had said to them when they were little, as I just mentioned, I've lived in a million places. So I was like, you guys can't just stay in Philadelphia. Like so many people, Pennsylvania is the largest state that has people that don't leave that state ever. I actually Googled that, which is a crazy fact, but it's true. So anyway, so what happened is that I left there. I promoted my kids to go to school in different places because they wanted them to see the different parts of how people live in America. Because even though America is one country, we all know the South is different than the North. The West is different than the East. Different pockets you go to is just different. So I wanted them to see something different, to which they have, and they all live in different places. Nobody lives in the same place. One's way, way north. One's like in the Northeast. And one is in Texas. So they're just all over the place. And that's one of my kids pointed out to me that was my choice. I said, you cannot stay in the same neighborhood. So now here I am with them living in different places. They're all very successful. They're all doing their own lives, but that means that they do not live near me. And I have to be okay with that. And I should be grateful. And it took me some days to get there, but with the help of my husband, and some friends, talking to people, I got to this place where I was like, okay, about my husband now.
Okay.
It's not about me. It's about us.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think you were explicit in so much in what had you so upset, and it seemed, and from where I sat, the conundrum for you was that you are upset because you have this idea that everybody was going to flock to your house and live here. It's not like it's kind of like magic. They're magically going to live here while they were doing their own life someplace else, and they would be here with their families, and we'd have all these people almost in a Walton-like scenario living under the same roof and being very happy.
We're just figuring this out now.
But you it just and you have friends who have grown children who live at home, and sometimes you're like, oh, I can't believe she lives with her daughter lives with her. She's so lucky, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, she might be, but then maybe she's not. I don't know, because at least all our kids are, they're launched and they're out there and they're taking care of themselves and they're doing their own lives. So it was hard for you because on the one hand you wanted them to be what they are, but then on the other hand you were like, but I'm the mom and I raised them and they should love me and they should want to be with me all the time. And they like to be with you, they like to visit, but that's it. It's a visit. It's just a visit. And because of where they're all spread around, I was thinking about the other day, like, you're like, I need to live closer to my kids. Well, their kids all live 2,000 miles from each other. So I think we'd actually have to move back to St. Louis to be sort of equidistant from all of them. It's just, and it's hard. And there's some outcome there that you had to let go of. There's no question about it.
I did, you guys. I did. I had to let go of it. And it was really like, it kind of happened quickly. It was quickly, but not quickly. I mean, I've been obviously going
Kind
through
of, I
this.
would say, kind of happened quickly over the last 6 years.
But I had to let go, you guys. And it was hard to let go and realize, like, as my daughter said, she's like, this is what you wanted. You wanted us to be successful. She said to me point blank, she goes, you wanted us to be independent, and we are independent. And I'm like, oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Be careful for what you wish for, right?
Exactly.
Right?
Yep. But the good news is you moved to Florida anyway, so no matter what you want, there's no basement, so nobody can live in it. It's okay.
We barely have room for anybody else here. As I mentioned, the storage unit and the Christmas decorations and everything. But I think that um I think that it's so funny because one of my questions was how do we support each other in letting go of things that no longer serve us, and that is like such an amazing thing. I will tell you this: we have spent, we've been together for 13 years now. In February, it'll be 13 years that we've been together, and in the time that we have been together, there's been so many different changes that we've had, and I've delved into things. He's more of like, we'll follow through with what I want to follow through, but like doing this, we've been praying together since last April. Would you say that?
Yeah.
Since I got back from Medjugorje.
Yes. Yes, we have been doing it
Consistently. And I think that has helped us. I think for me, especially.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure. I will tell you, like during this whole holiday season, every morning before I went out of my bedroom, I took time, and there's one thing that I love on Halo, and it is Hallow, excuse me, and that is this one prayer, and they do a reading, and then they say, excuse Lily in the background, by the way, you guys, because she's just like licking her chops right behind us, and she's just like sitting there. Lily, stop.
Now she's yawning.
Now she's yawning and licking her
dog.
Okay. That's so sad. But I listened on Halo, and I'm going to paraphrase this, but you 10 times you say pretty much, God, your will be done, not mine. And that got me squared away in the morning. And then us talking and talking about like letting go and putting, God, what does God want to have happen? And in so many ways, it's everything says the same thing. And in some ways, you even hear this in Buddhism, you hear it in, when we did that whole course on Kabbalah. We've done yoga, we've done all these things, but it all comes back to the basics, which is the Catholic fundamental, which is, just let go and trust God. And that is one of our biggest things that we remind ourselves. Like, we're not in control as much as we want to be. And correct. Everything is happening exactly the way God wants it to happen.
Yeah, I heard, one of the most interesting things I've heard that really resounded with me and stuck with me in the last 9 months was the Catholic priest that said, God's will is what's happening right now. I'm like, that's awesome. I love that. But yeah, so, I feel like, wisdom and experience is, the greatest teacher that you'll have. And so wisdom and experience has at least taught me anyway that focusing on outcome, no matter what it is just not, it doesn't serve me well at all. And guess what? It leaves me a lot less to have to let go of. I can tell you that. So I might want something and say, all right, well, I'm going to do this. And, but then that's it. I have to stop there and say, okay, so I did it. So now let's see what happens.
So here we are at 2025, and we are in January of 2025. We have done 1 week of, well, we really haven't done 1 week because we did the whole month of December, but we've been doing Father Mike Schmidt's, we're just started his Bible in the Year last Sunday. We're going to have the second one tomorrow, which is actually, this is dropping on Monday. So if you missed these past two, you could also come in, come for the third time. You can come whenever you want to start.
Mm-hmm.
But what we have done for 2025 is said we're going to read the Bible from beginning to end.
Correct. And it's been really interesting. So I have to say I've everything that we've read, I've read myself on my own, and I was like, whatever made me think that anybody would want to read this on their own by themselves without a guide that can explain it to you. It really, like, it means so much more and comes to life in this course that we're taking. So I would recommend it to anybody.
It's been amazing because we can say to each other, and we have a group of 7 right now. So if anybody else wants to join in, it's men and women. I like to say it's men and women, but it's
man and woman.
It's man and women is what it is. It's not a ton of us. It's just, JF's doing it. But if somebody else wants, another man out there, we would love to have you if you want to come and do this with us. But when we're starting off, and I want to go back to the very beginning when we tuned in and we said, guess what, everybody, I'm wearing my workout clothes, but I'm not joining a gym. Do you have any goals for 2025 that besides finishing the Bible? Is there anything else you want to share with everybody? And then maybe we can talk about it again in January 1st, 2026, or at the end of December. If we're still going, we will be. But
we'll still be going. I mean, the only real goal I have is a personal goal of having a financial responsibility.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And I'm here to cheer you on. As everybody knows, I'm his biggest cheerleader. Yeah. And I think that'll be amazing. And I think that letting go and having fun this year, and I've realized, for better or for worse, like all this material stuff that's been such a big part of my life, especially and your life, buying. I want to have more experiences.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have more, like, we're going to Europe this summer for a couple weeks in June, which will be fun. We have that big trip. Mm-hmm. We have an engagement party that we're doing. So we have fun things that are on the horizon. And yes, I think that makes for life being even more fun, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like having plans in the future that that you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's huge.
Yeah, but it's nice to have, yeah, I agree with you. It's like, I don't need any more stuff, but I certainly could do more things. I mean, I can do things until the end of my life, and stuff is, I don't know what to do with what I have now.
Yeah.
I don't have any, I have no experiences I want to get rid of or put in storage.
No, that's true, right? There's no experiences. You don't put that in. So my last question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to tell somebody, I always say to wear like a loose garment, my visual for you, if you're out there, is putting on if you're a woman or maybe even a man, put on a dress, nothing on underneath it. It's linen and just free flowing and just enjoy. It's like very light, like a loose garment. Like you don't have to stress and just move your arms and everything. Nothing's on underneath you. You just get to relax. What is your visual you would give to somebody that's out there of living life like a loose garment and just enjoying life for 2025, which is our goal for everybody?
Well, with the men that I work with, I pretty much pass on what was told to me, and I'm actually starting to do it myself now, 25 years later. And that is, just less thinking and more doing. That's it.
Less thinking and more doing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now she's really awake. Okay, with that, you guys, we're right here at 30 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, honey.
Thank you for coming on Conversations with Busy, episode 511. And if you guys have any questions for either of us, or if any of this resonated with you or didn't resonate with you, let us know. Let us know your thoughts. If you have a guest or if you want to be a guest on Conversations with Busy, please reach out at elizabeth@elizabethchance.com and subscribe. Please subscribe. Press that subscribe button. If you're watching us on YouTube, please, please, please. Or if you're even listening to us on iTunes or Spotify or Apple Music or Alexa, whatever you're listening to this on, press subscribe, please. It means the world to me if you do that, because we're trying to really get this baby going. I've been trying for 9 years. It's got to do it before we get to 10, you guys. Come on. I've been doing this a long time. And again, this is, life is all about enjoying it and walking through all these things and not looking back with regret, but looking back as a learning experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that make sense? So you guys don't beat yourselves up anymore. 2025, we are going to be nice to ourselves. We're going to let go. We're going to enjoy more, a lot more fun, a lot less stress, and just enjoy, and maybe even get closer to God. So if you want to join our Bible study, you can reach out to me at elizabethchance.com, and I will send you the Zoom link for the next, so we meet on Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern time, and we'd love for you to come if you want to come.
Sounds good. I'll be there.
You'll be there, and I'll be there. So come and join us. We'd love to have you. And until next time, everybody, take care. Sending lots of love and lots of hugs to you all. And I'm so glad you guys are back with me in 2025. As I say sometimes, here we go. Take care, everybody. Talk to you sooner than later. Bye. Thanks for listening to Conversations with Busy. I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, if you could subscribe, that would mean the world to me. And follow me on all social media. And you can also get my newsletter every Friday morning into your inbox. Just go to elizabethchance.com and subscribe. Take care.